But there is a difference between when something is good and when it is God. And I dare to say that something can be good and not be God. You know, we are talking about the mind of Christ, and I said the mind of Christ, this is my first point, and I'm trying to explain it, that it is the will of God. And I hope that God will shift us in understanding today, that we graduate from thinking good to thinking God. Okay? That this man came to Jesus in Matthew chapter 8 verse 2. He said, this is a leprous man. And this leprous man is talking to a miracle worker. He's saying that if thou will, I know if it is in your will, if you will, you can make me clean. So Jesus responded that I will. So that is to tell you that there is a possible case that he is not willing. I need to be careful in explaining this, because there is an extreme part to it where we lose our balance. Alright, so you can now come to a point where you are probably, for your situation, you are like, maybe God is not willing. No, that's not what I'm saying. That's why I'm trying to be careful with what I'm explaining. Okay, so I'm just trying to explain what the mind of God is. That the mind of God is the will of God. So when the Bible says, let this mind be in you, and because you know, at the later verse, the Bible is not saying, who being in form of God thought it not robbery to be equal with God, but made himself of no reputation, and took upon him the form of a servant. At this point, you think that what God is talking, what the scripture is talking about here, is being humble. That you have to abase yourself. You have to, be very, very, just like Jesus did. He sacrificed himself. That's why I'm saying that there is something I want you to see that many of us don't see when we read the scripture. That the will of God at that time is that God becomes a man to die for the sins of man. So at that time, that is the will of God, because this thing that Jesus did now, if you do it now, you're on your own. You just die for nothing, because in your heart of alignment is not the will of God. It is not the mind of God. So this is just pointing to the fact that there is something called the will of God for each and every man, and that will of God is the mind of God. It is the mind of Christ. So what the Bible is saying that you may not be seeing is that let this mind be in you, as the will of God was in the mind of Christ. You too must have the will of God in your mind. And that's what the Bible calls the mind of Christ, the will of God.